This is your WCIA 3 forecast first.
We've had some dry weather finally work its way on in here. Still a few showers out there tonight, but the heavy rain and the storm threat over for the night and even into the weekend here. Chances looking pretty low. Still a few spot showers there along and south of Interstate 70. Most of us are dry. We'll keep the chance for a spot shower across the area as we go into tonight. In the meantime, temperatures are in the upper 60s and low 70s. They'll drop about 5 more degrees from there. Overall, the weekend looks a lot quieter here. There's still a chance for at least an isolated shower in the storm. We'll talk about that, plus lots of sunshine on the way and dry weather expected for much of next week. We'll talk about all of that and more as WCIA 3 News at 10 starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
It was a shock to Illini Nation how people are remembering Bobby Rountree. And it wasn't rain that made roads slippery in one town today. The unusual substance that leaked from a tanker truck. Plus, the COVID vaccine isn't the only one health officials say people should get, what they want parents to remember.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
An Illini football player who touched the hearts of thousands has died. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. 23-year-old Bobby Rountree was a former defensive end for the Illini. He was one of Illinois' best defensive players in his first 2 seasons, but he suffered a spinal injury 2 years ago that left him paralyzed. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer is with us. Jared, this is a loss affecting many people on campus and throughout the community.
And Jessica, that's because the community was so invested in seeing him recover. Several major figures in Illini sports took to Twitter to share their reaction to the tragedy. Less than a week ago, Bobby Rountree posted the latest progress he was making in his recovery. He had been in rehabilitation for 18 months following a boating and swimming accident. His death, a gut punch and tragic loss for the world of Illini sports. Athletic director Josh Whitman posted no words could adequately express the sadness in his heart, and that Rountree was a warrior, leader, and inspiration to all. Basketball coach Brad Underwood, volleyball's Chris Thomas, and soccer's Janet Rayfield all posted their condolences. Throughout his recovery, Rountree expanded on that warrior reputation he developed.
I've been seeing all the love and tweets. Thank you.
In his last months, he vigorously continued moving towards his goal of walking again. Last year, we talked with head athletic trainer Jeremy Bush about the recovery Bobby was making.
They said, we need to lay out some realistic expectations. And I said, no, you don't. You don't know who you're getting your hands on here. You watched a person that's been truly at the worst point in his life, and he doesn't acknowledge that to where it defeats him, but he acknowledges it to motivate him.
Rountree had a GoFundMe that was set up to help cover some of his medical expenses. Last year, the Illini helped raise over $140,000. This year, the family has gotten just over $30,000 from that fund. If you would like to donate to his fund for his family, check out our website. Back to you, Jessica.
That's devastating news. All right, Jared, thank you. Coming up in sports, we'll have how athletes and Rountree's teammates are remembering him. New at 10, a Decatur man is facing gun charges in a murder investigation. Authorities arrested 22-year-old Demarion Mills this afternoon. A warrant was issued during the murder investigation of Antoine McClelland. Police had a warrant to search Mills' home and car. They found a gun, ammunition, and other evidence. The murder is still under investigation. Decatur police are investigating after an 8-year-old was shot. This happened last night near East Hickory and Lober Streets. Police say the child was riding in a car with her grandmother and 4 other kids. Her grandmother told police she was driving near Woodford and Walnut when she heard the gunshots. That 8-year-old is expected to survive. RANTOUL police are also investigating after a 16-year-old was shot while sitting in a car. It happened this morning on Golf Course Road. Police say the teenager was not seriously hurt. Witnesses say they saw a silver-colored SUV leaving the area after the shooting. That vehicle has not been found. A traffic stop in Springfield ended in a weapons arrest. 25-year-old Amari Jones is charged with unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. Police say he was riding a mini bike both on the road and sidewalk. They confronted him when it stalled. Jones ran away but was later caught and found with a handgun. We have a follow-up. A new law aims at protecting your kids, and tonight advocates broke down what this could do to help them. This law makes it illegal for prosecutors to use information obtained from lying or misleading kids during interrogations. Governor Pritzker signed this into law yesterday. It passed unanimously through the Capitol earlier this year, and Illinois is now the first state in the country to ban it. Advocates believe this will keep minors from giving false confessions.
Many children who falsely confess do so because they are told downright falsehoods during interrogation. Statements like, "Your DNA was found at the scene," or, "If you confess, you'll get to go home," when those things aren't true.
Using deceptive tactics during interrogations was first allowed following a court decision in 1969, but several courts in Illinois have since condemned it because they believe it can lead to those false confessions. Several roads were underwater today after more rain flooded them in McLean County. Areas near Hayworth and Leroy saw another 6 to 8 inches. The water was so high, rescue crews responded to several water rescues near Hayworth, and many of those county roads are still underwater. Now, water on the roads wasn't a problem for some drivers this morning, but olive oil was. A semi-truck tanker carrying the cooking oil leaked it from Farmer City to I-74, then to 57. State police say no one crashed during the spill, but it did interrupt businesses and slow down traffic.
The business, they go so bad today. Actually, I have big rush in the morning here. There's nobody show up because it's so bad outside.
IDOT put down sand on the roads to help with the mess. While school districts are still deciding what to do about COVID protocols this fall, one university is telling all students to mask up in the classroom. Students at EIU will have to wear a mask in class whether they're vaccinated or not. Those who are not vaccinated will also have to follow social distancing, both indoors and outside, unless they're in their rooms or apartments. As for the latest COVID-19 numbers in Illinois, 676 new cases were announced today. Another 8 people have died. Positivity rate is 2.3%. Almost 58% of adults in the state are fully vaccinated. Now, health officials in Champaign County still want people to get vaccinated against COVID, but they're also reminding people to stay up to date with other vaccinations. They say because routine shots weren't a requirement for online learning last year, many families are at least a year behind on shots for their kids. So they're asking people to make sure they're updated on everything so we don't see any other outbreaks.
We don't want to be in that position where we missed vaccinations because of COVID, and now we have an outbreak of measles or mumps or something that we have not even seen in years.
If you've had all of your shots but still need to get your COVID vaccine, you can set up an appointment at your local pharmacy or go to CUPHD's weekly vaccine clinic. That takes place every Friday. Most dogs you take on a walk, but some would rather flop. We'll show you. Plus, Kofi Coburn staying with the Illini, and that is good news for fans. Jacob, some of the footage or the pictures we saw of that flooding today in McLean County, I mean, they've gotten so much rain over the last month.
Yeah, and it was a couple of weeks ago, that same area had 6 to 10 inches of rain. They got another 6 to 8 in some spots there today. When we add up all 30 days total for the rainfall, these are some of the numbers there. You can check them out right now for your local town on WCIA.com. These are just some of the top ones here. I think I've got about 100 or so totals online, but the 12 that stood out, Hayworth, almost 18 inches of rain here. We got a foot of rain near Sherman and near Danville. Homer at 13 inches here. Bloomington at 15, almost 16 inches. A lot of rain has fallen. The good news, not much more is expected here over the next 7 days and beyond. We'll talk about that coming up after this.